Welcome everyone. Today we are going to talk about something that can completely change your life if you truly understand it. Self-control. Most people believe success comes from talent, luck, or intelligence. But when you study the lives of successful people, you discover something very interesting. The real difference between people who build powerful lives and people who stay stuck is not intelligence. It is self-control. Self-control is the ability to control your thoughts, your emotions, your habits, and your decisions, even when it is difficult. Anyone can stay focused when life is easy. Anyone can stay disciplined when motivation is high. But real strength appears when you are tired, when you feel lazy, when temptation is strong, and when nobody is watching. That is when your character is tested. Look around the world today. Many people know what they should do, but they cannot control themselves long enough to do it. They want success, but they choose comfort. They want growth, but they choose distraction. They want discipline, but they follow their emotions, and slowly without realizing it they lose control of their own life. But the moment you learn how to control yourself, something powerful happens. You begin to control your time, you begin to control your habits, you begin to control your future. Because the truth is simple but powerful. If you cannot control yourself, the world will control you. In this video, we are going to explore 10 powerful ways to build strong self-control, habits and ideas that can help you become mentally stronger, emotionally calmer, and more disciplined in everyday life. And I want you to watch this video until the end because the last tips will help you understand something very important. Self-control is not something you are born with. It is something you build step by step. Once you understand how it works, you can start changing your life immediately. Also, by listening to this video, you will improve your English listening and understanding. So keep practicing with us and subscribe to the channel for more powerful videos like this. Tip 1. Look at the consequences before you act. One of the biggest reasons people lose control of themselves is because they only focus on the present moment. They think about what feels good right now. They think about comfort. They think about pleasure. But they forget to think about the future consequences of their actions. This is where self-control begins. Self-control is the ability to pause for a moment and ask yourself one powerful question. What will happen if I keep doing this? Most bad habits survive because people never stop long enough to think about their consequences. For example, imagine someone who spends hours scrolling on their phone every night. In that moment it feels harmless, just a few minutes of entertainment. But if that person stops and honestly thinks about the consequences, the picture becomes very different. Those few minutes slowly become hours. Those hours replace sleep. Lack of sleep destroys energy. Low energy destroys productivity. Slowly that person begins losing valuable time that could have been used to learn, improve, or build something meaningful. One small habit repeated every day slowly shapes the direction of life. This is why powerful people train themselves to see the future consequences of their actions. Before they eat unhealthy food, they think about the effect on their body. Before they waste time, they think about the opportunities they are losing. Before they react emotionally, they think about the damage it could create. This simple habit, thinking about consequences, creates awareness. And awareness is the first step toward control. When you clearly see where a habit will lead you, it becomes much easier to make a better decision. You begin to ask yourself stronger questions. Instead of asking, "Do I feel like doing this right now?" you begin asking, "Will this decision help my future or damage it?" This shift in thinking is extremely powerful because your brain begins to move from impulse thinking to responsible thinking. You stop living only for the present moment. You begin protecting your future. And the more you practice this habit, the stronger your self-control becomes. You start noticing your impulses before they control you. You start noticing your habits before they become destructive. Slowly you begin taking back control of your life. Because self-control is not about fighting yourself all the time. It is about becoming aware enough to make better decisions before damage happens. And the more you train your mind to think about consequences, the more powerful your discipline becomes. Over time, this small mental pause can save you from thousands of bad decisions and guide you toward thousands of better ones. That is why strong people always remember something important. Every action has a consequence. The question is not whether consequences will come. The question is whether you are wise enough to see them before they arrive. Tip 2. Wake up at the same time every day. This may sound simple, maybe even too simple, but do not underestimate it. Waking up at the same time every day is one of the strongest forms of self-control. Because the way you start your day affects everything that comes after it. If your mornings are random, your mind becomes random. If your mornings are disciplined, your mind becomes disciplined. Self-control is built through repetition, not through one big heroic moment, but through small daily acts of order. Most people wake up based on mood. Some days early, some days late, some days after 5 alarms, some days after wasting time in bed for an hour. That kind of beginning weakens the mind because every morning the brain learns something. It learns whether you are in charge or your comfort is in charge. When the alarm rings, there is a battle, not outside but inside. One voice says get up. The other voice says sleep a little more. That moment may look small, but it is not small. That moment is training your identity. Every day your brain watches what you do in that moment. If you keep choosing comfort, your brain learns that you avoid discomfort. But if you keep waking up on time, your brain learns that you follow through. That is how discipline is built. This habit is not just about sleep, it is about obedience to your own standards. It is about saying, "I do what I say I will do." That sentence is powerful because many people lose self-respect not because they fail publicly but because they break promises to themselves privately. They say they will wake up early but they do not. They say they will start improving but they delay. They say they want discipline but they keep negotiating with comfort, and slowly their confidence drops. Confidence is not built by talking, it is built by self-trust, and self-trust grows when you keep your word. Waking up at the same time every day is one of the simplest ways to build that trust. The morning creates momentum. If you wake up late, rushed and mentally weak, the rest of the day often follows that pattern. But when you wake up on time, you begin with a small victory. That small victory changes your energy, your posture, and your thinking. You feel in control, and when you feel in control early, it becomes easier to stay in control later. Disciplined mornings are transformational because they train consistency, mental toughness, obedience to structure, and the ability to act before emotion agrees. Self-control is not doing the right thing when you feel like it. It is doing the right thing even when you do not feel like it. And waking up on time teaches exactly that. Tip 3. Look at the reasons. If tip 1 was about consequences, this tip is about purpose. Self-control becomes much stronger when you remember why you are trying to control yourself in the first place. Many people fail in discipline because they are trying to force themselves without emotional connection. They say, "I need to stop this habit, I need to become disciplined, I need to control myself," but their reason is weak. And when your reason is weak, your discipline breaks easily. Emotion always defeats weak logic. If temptation feels strong and your reason feels weak, temptation wins. That is why you must look at your reasons again and again. The human mind does not stay disciplined for no reason. It needs meaning, direction, and a cause bigger than comfort. When your reason is deep, discipline becomes easier. Reasons create emotional fuel, and emotional fuel keeps you moving when motivation disappears. A wish says, "I want to improve." A reason says, "I refuse to keep living below my potential." A wish says, "I want to become disciplined." A reason says, "I refuse to keep destroying my future with temporary pleasure." When your reason becomes personal and emotionally powerful, discipline becomes protection of your purpose rather than punishment. Tip 4. Delay instant gratification. Instant gratification means choosing something that feels good right now even if it damages your future. Human brains love instant pleasure such as sweet food, entertainment, scrolling, and comfort. These things give quick dopamine. But when you constantly choose instant pleasure, your brain becomes addicted to easy rewards. Working hard begins to feel painful. Studying feels boring. Building discipline feels exhausting. The most successful people train themselves to delay gratification. They choose a better future reward instead of a quick temporary reward. Weak minds chase comfort. Strong minds chase growth. Weak minds ask what feels good right now. Strong minds ask what will make my life better tomorrow. This ability to delay gratification is rare but powerful because it allows you to do difficult things without needing constant pleasure. Tip 5. Never skip your workout. Exercise is one of the best training grounds for discipline. When you exercise regularly, you teach your brain to do difficult things even when you do not feel like doing them. Your body and mind are deeply connected. Exercise teaches patience, persistence, and consistency. Every time you refuse to skip your workout, your brain learns that you finish what you start. That belief becomes part of your identity. Self-control is strongly connected to the ability to tolerate discomfort, and exercise trains exactly that. Tip 6. Look at self-control like a fruit growing on a tree. You cannot plant a seed today and expect fruit tomorrow. You must plant the seed, water it, protect it, and give it time. Self-control grows through repetition. Every small act of discipline is like watering the tree. Every time you resist temptation or complete a task when you feel lazy, you are feeding the tree of discipline. Over time the fruit appears and the habits that once felt difficult begin to feel natural. Tip 7. Quit sugar and control your cravings. Your ability to control your body affects your ability to control your mind. Cravings train your brain to chase instant rewards. Sugar creates strong dopamine responses which make the brain expect easy pleasure. When you control your cravings, you teach your brain that you are in charge, not your impulses. The discipline built through food and daily habits spreads into other areas of life. Tip 8. Practice meditation. Meditation is simply the training of attention. It teaches your mind to slow down, observe thoughts and remain calm instead of reacting impulsively. Modern life overloads our minds with constant stimulation, which weakens self-control. Meditation creates a space between stimulus and reaction. In that pause your self-control grows. Even 10 minutes a day can strengthen focus, emotional stability, and decision-making. Tip 9. Master your emotions. Self-control becomes impossible if your emotions control you. Emotions are temporary and constantly changing. Strong people learn to feel emotions without letting them control their actions. A reaction is emotional. A response is thoughtful. By pausing before responding, you give your brain time to think, and that pause can prevent many mistakes. Emotional mastery creates stability, clarity, and inner strength. Tip 10. Discipline over desire. Desire feels natural and pleasant in the present moment, but discipline builds your future. Desire says rest more, skip the task, enjoy comfort. Discipline says do what must be done. Average people follow desire. Strong people follow discipline. Desire gives temporary satisfaction. Discipline creates long-term transformation. Your life is shaped by what you choose when desire and discipline collide. That collision happens every day. Every time you choose discipline you become stronger. And in the long run that difference shapes your body, your mind, your habits, your success, and your future. That is why discipline over desire is not just a tip. It is a life principle and the final proof of self-control.